ride Mentor 5. It's got a long tradition of success in the Mentor range. Looking at the risers, very simple setup, very thin riser set, the bendy brake, poppers, and a little hock and pulley. Interesting that it doesn't have a speed riser on this. I would have expected them to have connected the back risers and the B's to allow for some rear riser steering, but that's not there. Clean, simple riser setup with these little rubber rings. You got 3 A's, 3 B's and a stabilizer, and 3 C's and the brake. Looking down the leading edge, you can see a reinforcing rod that runs around on the top of the wing and stops kind of halfway through this white band on the top. Just goes around a little way, and then another little one giving it some strength that way to hold it into shape. In my hand the lines feel very thin. Okay, they're very slender, so they've been reduced to increase performance, particularly on the brake. On the back risers here, on the C's, the lines feel very thin. So using the back risers to keep the wing down low and build the wall as I go around. Check that everything's looking good, just leaning back, letting the wing come up. Okay, it doesn't work yet. Because it needs a bit of A's, I'm going to go with A's and brakes. I'm going to run towards the wing as I pull it up now. So bringing it up and towards it. Off we go. It's completely smooth. Okay, that's a very, very steady and slow turn. So I'm doing some gentle wing over turns now. It's got a kind of a little hook turn. It's very low aspect, but whoa, all of a sudden it's hooking into a bigger turn. So you've got to be a little careful with it. Coming out with a lot of energy there. It's got a big climb out and a pitch. So that contrasting to the Symphonia, you're coming out with a lot more energy of the spiral on the Mentor 5. You're getting a much sharper, steeper climb out, followed by more of a pitch energy. Going to big ears. Big ears again are nice and big, effective. They feel pretty stable. Gonna speed it up just a little bit. It's always a good habit. And now coming off the bar and releasing them, they sort of want to flap themselves open all on their own. So I'm just putting a little bit of pitch energy in. That's number 1. That's number 2. It's number 3. Number 4. And letting it destabilize. On its own, it stabilizes fairly quickly. So with the pitch forward, I'd say that's limited, and it's helping the pilot there. I think that's been at the expense of feeling in the glider. It is incredibly steady overhead. I mean, it's not moving in the pitch axis at all. Doing the spiral, you leave it one turn, it really speeds up. You really get a swing through. Fine if you continue the turn. So that's the best description of the wing, is that it's just mellow. Quite a sort of slightly spongy brake feel. Okay, flying on deep brake, holding it down somewhere around my hips, similar to previous mentors. Try a little asymmetric for you guys. Just at 50%, lean into it. That came out 90 degrees. So that's on a bit of bar. Look at full bar. That's very steady. That's its strong point. You stand on bar and cruise along. Have a sandwich. Watch the world go by. Doing less than 10 k's an hour on that. The brake, about 20 centimeters before it's starting to take contact there. It's incredibly smooth in the air. It feels like it's got this big leading edge. It's just cruising through the air. Very, very smooth. It doesn't have any energy in it. It seems to smoothen everything out. Strange thing I felt was I felt myself being bumped around a little bit as a pilot underneath it. So I was getting a little bit of rock and roll in my harness. Whereas the wing didn't feel like it was flexing at all. It was like it was just going through that air and leaving the pilot to feel. What it's doing is it's smoothing out the air on the wing, so you're getting a lot of performance. It's not unsettling the wing. The turn is soft, goes to medium sort of pressure. It's a little bit spongy in the turn, and it takes a bit of time to get around. It's certainly not responsive. It takes a bit of time to go around in the corner. It's very calm in the corners, but if you start turning it into a spiral very quickly, it speeds up and you get an increase in energy, which when you come out of the spiral, it does one of these big climb outs, quite steep climb out, and then a pitch. So you've got to be a little bit careful of that. That energy can build up quite quickly. Having said that, when it's flying along, it's very limited in pitch, and I tried to induce some pitches on it, and unlike previous mentors, this one is very, very calm in pitch. It's actually difficult to build up lots and lots of pitch energy that way, so it's going to keep pilots safe that way. If you're flying in rough stuff a lot, and if you're wanting to just stand on the bar and have a glider that feels like it's completely rock solid on bar, this is the one. It has a limited top speed. It didn't seem to be going beyond, definitely not beyond 10 kilometers an hour over trim. So I think that's its kind of limitation, is that it doesn't got very high top speed. But otherwise it's flying around easily. Big ears are quite effective. Stall point was quite deep. Didn't hit a wall of pressure there, but it was certainly obvious when I was getting towards stall point. And overall, for a pilot that's definitely got some experience, this is not a first wing, be a second wing, you're wanting to do cross country, but you really want the wing to help by smoothing out the air. You don't want information from the air, you want it to be calm and just have a mellow flight and cruise around and watch the scenery. Then it's a good match for you. I think it's very similar to previous mentors, same class of pilot, a very similar wing, very similar shape, and very similar characteristics, with slightly less pitch in this one and probably more smoothing out of everything, making it feel like a very low-end wing that actually has fairly good performance.